Going on, guys? It's Corey from Lion Dads, and I want to kick this video off with a question. So, do you want to live longer? Do you want to get stronger? Do you want to be the guy, the dad, the family man, the husband that your family needs you to be, no matter what age you are? So, men over 40, we kind of struggle. We often struggle with things like energy, our strength, our weight, overall health, fitness markers, and different things. These indicators of how healthy we are, what the quality of our life is, things like that. And in this video, I'm going to kind of break down that aging process, that longevity that we're shooting for, and kind of how you can make some lifestyle changes to ensure that you're going to be around for a long time, that will ensure that you're going to be around for your kids, your grandkids, maybe even someday hoping to have, great grandkids. These are things that I find important, especially as I'm getting older. And I know a lot of guys in the same boat that are hoping, to slow down that aging process, like prolong their life and try to make sure that they're living the best, longest, most fulfilling life they can. So let's break it down. So let's talk about longevity, right? What is longevity? To me, that's living a long, healthy, functional life, right? Not just adding years to your life, but making sure those years are, they're quality years. They're a life worth living, of fulfilling, doing the things you want to do, living it on your terms, living not just a long time, but feeling good, being active, being able to still do the things you want to do. And these longevity issues, as we get older, we think about them. These things, the years add up. You start, facing your own mortality and wondering how much time you got left. And I don't see any reason why we can't, be able to put that aside, to be able to think about just what we're going to do instead of how long we have to do it. And there's a lot of problems that face us when we start getting to this, these older years. Like I said, I'm past 40 and talking to a lot of guys and working with a lot of guys on here. There's a lot of issues that start piling up once you hit those late 30s, early 40s. You get, guys that'll tell you they have decreased testosterone. That's the thing that kind of happens as you get older. The hormones get out of whack. The testosterone goes down. Things like that. Guys start gaining weight. They start living a little bit more of a comfortable life. You're probably making a little more money, getting a little more settled in life. A man's life really doesn't start until he starts getting a lot older. You spend your 20s and some of your 30s probably kind of figuring things out, and guys get in their 40s, they start getting comfortable. And when you couple that with the aging process, it starts leading to like some chronic illnesses, the energy loss. Some guys face libido issues. There's all kinds of, and it all depends on the lifestyle you've been living, how healthy you are, how comfortable, you've gotten complacent and lazy. And, these issues, as if you got kids and you got a family and you got responsibilities and you got a job, these issues start adding up and they start affecting different areas of your life like that. So, and that leads, honestly, if you're not feeling good and you're not doing good and there's no purpose and you're just kind of going through the motions, that affects personal fulfillment, and all that stuff adds up, later to your later years in life. So we're just kind of going to go through that and talk about it. So I'm going to give you some background on me. I started this channel a couple of years back, but I, several years ago, I was getting to my late 30s. It was around 2020, late 2019, early 2020. I was out of shape. I was in bad shape, heavy, pushing up almost to like 290, almost 300 pounds. Diet was bad, going through the same stuff, laziness, complacency, just kind of going through the motions of life. I was too comfortable, too complacent, and it led to a lot of issues. Health issues were starting to creep up, a lot of pain, inflammation, things like that. I've struggled with weight for a long time. Started dealing with issues. I went to the hospital over an issue. I thought I was having a heart issue. It was a chest pain type deal. It turned out just to be indigestion really bad, stuff like that. And I got tired of it. So, if you're on this channel and you've watched me for a while, you know that I follow a pretty strict carnivore diet now. That led me to that. That led me to finding, researching different diets, different ways of eating. It led me to find the carnivore diet, which, a lot of people have different feelings on the carnivore diet. I think it changed my life, probably saved my life. I've tried a billion other different diets. None that I really felt worked for me till I found this. I know there's a lot to be said about just eating whole foods in general, which I'm going to talk about, because I believe that's the way to eat, is whole foods. Fruits bother me. That I have allergic reactions to most fruits, and a lot of vegetables cause me inflammation and things like that, and just breakout and skin rashes, stuff like that. And I just really, frankly, don't like them, all that much. I'm not really a vegetable guy. So that's why a carnivore diet works for me. And whether that works for you or not, that's for you to determine. I always, teach that and advocate for it because I love it and it's worked well for me. But, if that's not your thing, I at least kind of try to steer guys in the way of at least eating whole foods. Try to be, somewhat, make sure you're getting plenty of animal-based foods in you, those high quality fats and proteins that are bioavailable to you. And then, it's your choice on what else you eat from there. I just try to tell people to avoid the processed foods, processed sugars, these unhealthy fats and things that they're putting in these foods, seed oils and all that kind of stuff. Just cook your own food, single ingredient, foods. That's what you should be consuming. You know what I mean? Because these diets, these whole food diets, especially a carnivore diet, to me, in my mind, it reduces inflammation. These things are linked to aging. They're linked to heart disease and things like that. As you get older, diabetes, the inflammation in your body. And, the carnivore diet eliminated all that for me. So that's why it's what I eat. And a whole food diet will do that for a lot of people. You know what I mean? If you don't have reactions to those foods and they don't bother you, then that's great. Eat them. For me, it just doesn't work. And for a lot of people, it doesn't work. I work with numerous men on here who have the same issues I did, and the carnivore diet works for them. And I'm not here to pitch the carnivore diet on this video. If you're seeing me for the first time, if you want to try it, great. If you don't, whatever. If you're on this channel, you know that's the way I eat. So if you're always on here, but these foods are nutrient dense. You know what I mean? They provide all the essential vitamins and minerals you need, to support longevity, your different vitamins, omega-3, all that stuff. And then obviously just the macro, right? The macronutrients, the high quality protein, the high quality fats, to balance your hormones out, help you build muscle, help you stay active. Fat does give you energy once you become fat adapted. Carbs are an energy source, they're a short-term energy source, but fats are an energy source as well. It doesn't get talked about enough, and I've found it to be plenty efficient for me. I have been pretty much carb-free. I've had a couple slip-ups over the years. Much recently, it's been a few years now since I've really had any big slip-ups and stuff like that. I function just fine. I thrive without eating carbohydrates. It's not a big deal at all. You can live without them. Your body can run efficiently without them. You can build muscle without them. No matter what people say, it's true. There's plenty of evidence out there, plenty of testimonials that will show you. So, you know, there's a lot of myths that you have to have the fiber and you have to have all that kind of stuff, and that red meat shortens your life, and that stuff's not true. You know, if your body handles it well and you want to eat, you know, fibrous vegetables and things like that, leafy green vegetables, like I said, you know, that's for you to decide. That's for you to determine how those things affect you, you know, basically. But I want to get into, you know, just the lifestyle practices to help longevity, right? Aside from the diet, we've already talked about that. You know, the diet, I think, is the place you start. You know, that's the number one thing when I'm talking to a new person, I'm working with a new person, they want to, you know where to start. It always starts with the diet. It always starts with what you're fueling your body with, what you're eating, what you're consuming, you know, and what your intake is. And that determines your output, you know, and that determines, you know, how healthy you're going to be really and how far you can go. But one thing I really think is next after the diet is your physical health, right? How much you're moving, what kind of activities you're doing, what you're doing to, you know, get the most out of yourself. You're already fueling your body. Hopefully, if you take my advice in the first half of this video about, you know, fueling it right with a whole food, you know, animal-based, high protein, high fat diet, now you need to put that to work, right? You need to take those tools, those, you know, nutrients and macronutrients, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, proteins, fats, you need to put them into action. I think every man should undergo some sort of strength training regimen. Make it a big part of his life. Make it something that he does on a daily basis, or at least, you know, semi-daily basis. Make it part of your routine. Make it a habit. Not, you know, don't look at it as a hobby. Don't look at it as something you do just to do. Make it a part of your life. You know, strength training, mobility, exercises, flexibility, all that stuff super important. You know, that's going to help you build and maintain muscle. It's going to help your joints. It's going to help you feel better. It's going to keep you active. It's going to keep you able to keep up with your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids someday. You know, another big thing, just going for walks, stuff like that, getting some cardio in, some kind of movement, whether you want to walk or swim or bike or whatever your body can handle. I know some of us, you know, get to a certain point where you have knee pain, joint pain, whatever. I have, you know, ankle issues and knee issues from my old military days and stuff that still affect me. So going on walks works just fine for me. Going for a swim works for me. Going for a bike ride doesn't, you know, that's all stuff that I can do. You don't necessarily have to get out and run a 5K or anything like that. So, you know, the food, dietary stuff, that's number one. The physical fitness, strength training, conditioning, all that kind of stuff, that's to me number two. And those things will kind of help you lead into the other things that are important as far as longevity goes. So the next big one that I want to talk about is sleep. You know, and I noticed when I fixed the diet and I fixed the physical fitness, I fixed the mobility and the strength training and the cardio and all that stuff. When I started making that a part of my life and part of my routine, and it just became a big part of my life, that's when the sleep started getting better. I used to have horrible sleep. I used to have trouble sleeping, trouble falling asleep, waking up in the middle of the night constantly. I think I used to get about 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep for years, you know, and I'm sure that was hell on my body. It was an absolute nightmare. I was full of inflammation, like I said, and different issues and chronic issues were coming up, and I'm sure my hormones were all, you know, shot to hell. It's just comes with bad sleep, and my sleep, I forgot what it was like for years to get a good night's sleep. And when it started happening, it was the biggest game changer. And really all I had to do was fix my diet and, you know, get a regular exercise routine going. And that's the stuff that helped me the most from the sleep aspect. So that's something you want to think about. I know if you're struggling sleeping, try fixing those two things. Try eating a real whole food diet, cutting out all the processed bullshit you find in the store, and really, really come up with a plan to exercise and get yourself back in shape, and give it some time. Nothing worth doing happens overnight. You know what I mean? You're not going to start eating whole foods today and go get one lift in and you're going to sleep like a baby tonight. That's not what I'm saying. But, create these good habits over time, and these things kind of pile up, and you might find yourself seeing you finally got a good night's sleep. So that's another one that'll lead to longevity, great, your recovery, hormone production, your mental clarity will get better just from having good sleep, coupled with those the good diet and the exercise program. All right, the next one I want to talk about is stress management, and that's one that's kind of a tough one to talk about, because we don't all have the same life situation, right? Like, we all deal with stress. Everybody deals with stress. I deal with stress. You guys all deal with stress. Everybody has different types of stress in their life. We all have a mortgage to pay. We have, elderly parents who are getting, up there, responsibilities, kids always on the go, worrying about their school stuff and everything. If you got kids in school and you're worried about all the nightmare school shit going on right now, and they're wondering what they're being taught all day and all that kind of stuff. Maybe your wife works or whatever it is. She's always coming home with problems and things like that. These are all stresses that add up, and you can't just snap your fingers and make them all go away. But it's important to kind of find ways to deal with that stress, whether you can mitigate it. You can find ways to prepare for stress that's inevitably going to come. Prioritizing your relationships with other people, making sure that, you're communicating and doing things to kind of get ahead of stress that may come in life. Or even if you're just, the workouts can help you manage stress. The good sleep will help you manage stress, and sit and think about it and journal and write things down and come up with plans and develop new skills to help you try to mitigate or even possibly eliminate certain stresses in your life. But as a man, it's our responsibility to take care of those things, right? We have to kind of get ahead of those problems and think about them and try to fix them. That's what we do. So that's the really big one. That's kind of a tough one to talk about, because we don't all have the same situation, but it's important to think about that stuff, and it's important to get ahead of it. So just beyond, physical health rather, how do all these things add up to kind of develop that longevity in your life and give you a more fulfilling, longer life, because you're going to be mentally sharper when you start doing these things. It's going to have an impact on your family. Your kids are going to see you leading by example. It's going to, hopefully have an everlasting impact on their longevity. If they see you fixing the small things that are, killing you, and now you're in a position where you're probably prolonged your life by years, who knows? Another thing, you're going to have more confidence. You're going to have more fulfillment. You're going to have, you'll feel strong. You feel capable even as you get older. You know what I mean? Your self-esteem can still go up. It's never too late. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50. I don't care if you're 80 years old. I tell my dad all the time. I was like, it's never too late. He's 70. He's about to turn 70. And I'm like, it's never too late to start. You can start doing it at any age, and you can add years onto your life just by fixing, a few small changes in your lifestyle. So let's start talking about some actionable advice here. What do we do? Here's the tools. What do we do? What do I do now? The easiest thing to do right now is throw out all your processed shit. Go through your cabinets, go through your, pantry, whatever it is. Get rid of all the processed crap in there. Go to the store, buy some steaks, buy some eggs, buy whatever you need, single ingredient, whole foods, and start eating them. It's literally that easy. You know what I mean? I don't know what everybody's got a different fitness level. If you're not able to just start I'm not telling you to go in and start training like a madman and you're going to enter a bodybuilding competition or powerlifting or something like that. But, you know, maybe it starts with just going for a short walk to the end of your driveway, depending on how bad a shape you're in, or around the block, or walk a mile. And maybe you're able to do some push-ups, or maybe you're able to just pick up some 5-pound dumbbells and lift them if you're down that bad. Who knows? I don't know. Everybody's got to do it. Some of us can go in the gym and just jump right into a pretty decent workout routine. Some people take some extra time, some extra help. They're dealing with injuries. They're dealing with health issues. It's understandable. But everybody can exercise. Everybody can find some way to exercise. You just got to get up there and do it. Stop being lazy and stop making excuses. You know what I mean? There are things you can do. You can do some air squats. You can go for a walk, tread water in a pool. There's a billion different things you can do without having to even go to a gym. So there's no excuse for anybody. I see 90-year-old women on Facebook and online, on YouTube and Twitter, X, doing full workouts. You know what I mean? Anybody can do it. Anybody can do some level of, exercise or activity to start getting themselves in shape and just work up from there. You're on your own time. You're only accountable to yourself. You can do it at your own pace. Just try to progressively get better and better and do more tomorrow than you did today, and so on and so forth. And then track your progress. You know what I mean? Keep track of what you're eating. By all means, one of the appeals of a carnivore diet is you don't really have to. You just kind of free eat meat without worrying about calories and things like that, because let's be real, you're on a carnivore diet, you can really only eat so much before you get stuffed. Same with any whole food diet. It's more satiating, it's more filling. So, you're going to fill up faster and you're not going to consume as many calories and things like that. So, but if it helps you to keep track of what you're eating, by all means do it. Use an app to measure your progress. Use an app to measure weight loss. There's free ones. You can get online and you can track that stuff. You can track your lifts in a journal when you're working out, see what your strength gains are, see what you did yesterday, so you don't do the same weight today. You do 5 pounds, 2.5 pounds, whatever it is heavier, 10 pounds heavier, whatever you want to do. And just journal how your energy feels. Write down, like, today I felt like this. Then the next day, okay, I felt a little better, or maybe I felt a little worse, but then I ate this and I felt a little better. These are all tricks you can do to kind of keep track of that stuff, get yourself in a better state of health, and go from there. You know what I mean? It's important to have that open line of communication, just even with yourself, to be honest with yourself and tell yourself how you're feeling and how these things you're doing are affecting you in a positive manner. So those are things you need to think about. And of course, any support you can get in all this is completely helpful. There's tons of online communities. You can join my email list. Go to www.lion-daz.com. You can do it there. Get the free guide to starting a carnivore diet, and you can kind of take off from there. But it's really up to you. You know what I mean? It's time for you to take your life back into your own hands. You know what I mean? And make a commitment to yourself. Like, I don't want to die before I'm 70. I'd like to live who knows how long. With the advancements in medical technology and stuff, they're projecting like they can keep people alive for a long time. I'd like to get in on that. So that's just something to think about. You know what I mean? And that's basically what the basis of this video is setting yourself up to where you can live a long, fulfilling life, doing activities and actually being active with your family, with your kids, with your grandkids, hopefully, God willing, your great-grandkids someday, and doing all the activities, not being limited by your health problems. You want to do what you can to eliminate these issues and these fitness issues and these health issues and the obesity and things like that, and take your life back, get in good shape, and do these activities for yourself, for your family, find a hobby, do all the things you've always wanted to do. I want to be traveling well into my old age. I don't, and doing fun stuff while I'm out there, not just sitting around lounging. So that's basically all I've got today. There's a couple things I'd like you guys to do. Once again, I'd like you to go to my website, www.lion-dads.com. Get your free guide starting a carnivore diet if you're interested in that. I want you to leave a comment down in the comment section, about one thing you want to do. What's one thing you can commit to doing to increasing your longevity? Sit and think about it and leave a comment, and maybe you can give other people some ideas. Maybe you guys can get a chat going about what you can do to increase that longevity in your life, to extend your life out, help you live a long, fulfilling life. And of course, I do, I'm willing to work with any of you guys. If you want to hit me up, you can leave a comment. You can, send me a message, whatever you want to do. I'm on all social media. You can find me on there and hit me up. And obviously, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.